Home Show Garden Pros, helping to turn your thumb green.
That is right. Welcome to Home Show Garden Pros, the live face-to-face version of a Saturday radio show we do every single Saturday. We do it on Sports Radio 610. So we're here to answer gardening questions. That's what we do live. We have a few different methods. We answer 4 questions. We have one video, and there's 2 of us. So that's kind of the magic of the show. On the radio show, we've kind of grouped together all of these incredible knowledge professionals from different garden centers all over Houston. So really cool folks from all over Houston. Plants for All Seasons up in 249, just past Louetta. You got Warren Southern Gardens and Kingwood Garden Center in Kingwood, really dishing out the Kingwood action up there. They're incredible places. In Katy, there's Nelson Nursery and Water Garden. Again, super rad spot, great for all sorts of things. And then down in the Richmond Way, Sugar Land, Missouri City, that way, we've got Enchanted Forest and Enchanted Gardens. So on the radio show, different pros come in, different knowledge specialists come in and dish gardening advice. I also participate. I'm a horticulturalist and a biologist, so I love answering gardening questions. Here on this live version, what we love to do is bring in a knowledge specialist from a nearby nonprofit or Houston-related gardening group. And this week we have the wonderful Meg Tapp from the Garden Club of Houston. Hello, Meg.
Hello. How are you today?
I am well. How'd you fare in the big chill?
What chill? I didn't realize. Did something happen?
It's my name for Icepocalypse.
Oh, no, I'm kidding. Yes, it was fine. It was sad. It was fun to watch the snow fall. But I was like, oh, I know what it's doing under there. But remarkably, some things look great. So it's always a learning experience. And honestly, I look at it, since I can't look at it any other way, but I do look at it as a time to fix some things that were bugging you. Like there may have been, you had something in the wrong place because it was too tall, or it just blocked your view of something else. Nothing is too tall now. But it's a chance that you wouldn't have had probably on your own to rearrange some things that weren't quite working for you.
Yeah, that's a great perspective. I have a lot of really tall, kind of native, subtropical shrubs like Hamelia, native E ones that pollinators love out there. And, they definitely got knocked back. So it's a clean space, clear canvas, if you will, that I can redesign. Also, over at our rent house, we had a few plants knocked out that I didn't really like. So that was kind of nice. So I can redesign
That's what they deserved.
Yeah, they really had it coming. Although there were some large spider lilies that I really loved.
Oh.
So just got to,
I mean, it was weird, but
it was
what
weird.
are you going to do?
What do you see out there that's looking really great that really stood up to the freeze?
My Clayera did well. My maple did well, as you would expect. Holly did well.
Yeah,
Aspidistra.
Oh, okay.
You couldn't kill that if you wanted to.
Maybe it is cast iron.
Yeah. And then really I'm looking out everything else. Actually, my yarrow that made it. And then everyone else. Oh, rosemary did okay. And everything else is pretty much dead.
Yeah, I pulled out some tomato plants and brought them inside, and that was the saving grace for me. It's like 4 tomato plants got inside and got back outside, and they're doing good. And it reminds me to recommend to people, you don't have to buy the 4-inch tomatoes. You can buy a 1-gallon size tomatoes. A lot of places carry those, and it's a really great option. You're not just buying tomatoes, you're also buying time travel, which is a really nice, usually not available on the market. So what are you guys up to with
$4?
No. Well, those 10 gallons aren't for those 1 gallons aren't $4 either. They're more.
No.
So what are you guys doing at the Garden Club of Houston these days?
Actually, we have one of our partnerships is with Gregory Lincoln Education Center, and that is on Taft Street, and it's a K-8 school, and they also partner with Urban Harvest, and so they have a really neat deal that's an educational garden, and it teaches teachers how to have a gardening program and a culinary program in different schools. So we went out there and cleaned out all their beds. Because that's such an unfun part of it for those kids, that we wanted it to be a little bit more successful and because it's a very successful program. So this obviously just wiped out so much stuff. But so we've been working on that, and we've been helping Cockerel Butterfly and their plant nursery. So that's it. And then we have coming up, our next big thing for public education is the flower show, which is called Graffiti. Actually, I have it. Like, here's you can see the logo.
Oh, it's very graffiti based. Is Gonzo involved?
Yes, he did that art.
Nice.
And he did a lot of the art that is in the show. But so anyway, that's going to be at Sawyer Yards on April 27 and 28. And it's free and open to the public. And it's a flower show in that they have, like, there'll be a mural by Gonzo, and then 4 people will have done a flower arrangement that somehow is inspired by that. Or there's needlepoint canvases that are of Gonzo's art, and people have stitched those. So there's just little, or like there'll be a art car parade themed section where there's people have done table settings that are inspired by different things with art cars. So that's the flower part of it. But then the plant part of it should be very interesting, because obviously Houston just got hit so hard. So the plants that will be in the competitions will actually be things that made it. So it wouldn't be the worst idea to come out and look at that. First of all, it should be pretty, but you could really see what made it, because it might be a cutting of a maple or something like that, and that would give you an idea, and you'd be able to get the name of it off the card that's next to the plant to know, hey, I might try that because it lasted through this mess.
Yeah, I had a couple surprising plants that made it through. One is my silver dollar eucalyptus. I was very surprised that was truly unscathed out front, where kumquats and, Duranta and Lantana all got blasted. And the other one is the cherry of the Rio Grande that really did really, really well. A beautiful native kind of silvery bush that makes beautiful red flowers. And I was really surprised that one did as well. So I bet you see a lot of those in the competition. So,
do you think your Duranta's coming back, or you think you're done?
I mean, it was dead all the way to the ground, but it's done that before. So if history is our guide, then it'll grow back from the roots. But it's tough. I mean, I think probably I was at 14, 15 degrees at my house, kind of in the heart of the city, south of 59 even. So we'll see. We will see.
Yeah. I just saw today my orange tree. It's split. It didn't split until now. I mean, I didn't see it till now, but I'm like,
right. Yeah.
R.I.P. orange.
It's definitely holds your breath. And citrus is funny because it can kind of give a little bit of a green negative on a scratch test too. So that's why we're always saying, wait. It even does a false dead sometimes. So on
like
branches.
A possum?
Sort of like
Similar?
that. Yeah, not quite as like adorable. So
yeah,
one time there was a baby possum in my house, and I had to get it and carry it out with these big barbecue gloves, and it stayed like awake the whole time. And then I put it on the ground for it to walk away, and it was walking really slow. So I kind of tapped it to move forward, and that's when it fell dead. So it was like, oh, you wait till now. So anyway, then I picked it up and put it over the fence.
There you go.
Good story about possums.
Was like, thank you.
Here we are on Home Show Possum Pros. No, Home Show Garden Pros is what we do, and we answer gardening questions. So we're going to do that now. We have some questions that are prepared. We've got a great website, homeshowgardenpros.com. A lot of video tips on there, quite a bit of good little guides. There's a new planting calendar that I think you'll really enjoy. And a lot of good stuff up there for your gardening information, your gardening pleasure, I guess. So we're going to go to our 4 questions gleaned from the email, the Ask a Pro button on the website. And so, Meg, you ready to answer some gardening questions?
I am indeed.
Okay, here we go. First question from Keith. Keith, I failed to protect the evergreen Indian hawthorn during the freeze. It's not evergreen anymore, is it? Oh, ouch. Too soon? I think there's no chance. Oh, think there's a chance they will recover. What can I do to help? So anything Keith can do to help his Indian hawthorns that look pretty bad?
Well, first of all, don't feel bad about it, because honestly, about not protecting it, it was like a Sophie's choice. Everyone, honestly, there's only so much you could do. So I picked certain things that I tried to save, and we'll see if that worked. But don't worry, don't feel bad about it. Indian hawthorn should be fine. It's, I mean, I didn't see a picture of it or anything, but really that's kind of like a zone 8 plant that can handle Dallas type weather. And so we did get Dallas type weather and even a little worse, but I bet you're going to be okay. So you might just trim it off a little bit if it's, just from, I don't know. I don't even know how much I don't know how big it is, so I don't know how many inches to tell you, but you could just give it a little shaping and make sure that you feed it really any water soluble anything. So almost anything from microlife, like seaweed or fish emulsion, any of that kind of stuff that you can put in a bucket and read the instructions on how to the destruction.
Well, we already got the destruction. Now we need the instruction.
Check. So just read the rules and dump it as a drench to kind of get that all the way down in there. And I bet you will be surprised and happy, but you just have to wait. And I know, like, for me, I'm not a patient person, so I want to get my rage out and get out and just whack everything back and just deal with, but you're better off waiting because you really might get a nice surprise.
Yeah, with Indian hawthorns, I think we are hopeful that it looks like the book on those is 12 degrees, 15 degrees, something like that. And in that situation, we just don't really know. So I'm with Meg. If you really feel like doing something, get your hedge pruners and take off the top 2 inches, something like that. It's kind of like citrus, just telling everybody to treat citrus like you normally would, put down some remineralizer and some microlife from Nature's Way Resources and some microlife citrus fertilizer. And that would probably be a great thing to do on those Indian hawthorns as well. So, yeah, it's a tough one. Those Indian hawthorns, they're right on the line. Although I will say this, they're one of the plants that are at my daughter's house that I'm okay if they didn't make it, if you know what I'm saying.
You're dead to me.
Nice, yeah. Well, let's go on to question number 2. Question number 2. Ooh, ponytail palm looks really bad. Do I pull all dead leaves off and hope for the best? I noticed a crack in the base. Feels pretty soft above it. Been growing this guy for 10 years. Ugh. So, Dwayne's question, ponytail palm, any hope? And what are some care tips?
I would say RIP, ponytail palm. But so cut off the dead. It's like Monty Python, bring out your dead. But cut off the dead and certainly anything mushy. But the crack is not great because that's what I was saying about my lemon tree or orange tree, that it's sad because basically when you get a crack, it's like a pipe burst in your plant. So how they transport their water, expanded and it burst. So that's not great. You might have to look back on a good 10-year run you had with her.
Yeah, and remember that fondly. Most palms, I will say that you really want to watch the crown. What can happen right now is there can be a little damage of the crown and it can get rotted. Now, ponytail palms, we know that they are not cold hardy. And so that's one that you kind of like just have to remember those 10 years. But any other palms, now Meg, you mentioned cutting the leaves off. What do you think about this crazy idea? Okay, you leave the leaves on, and so the weight opens the crown up a little bit. See, did my visual help? So they die and they're kind of pulling, and it opens the crown up a little bit more. So that's my kind of suggestion for anybody dealing with cycads or palms: is leave the leaves on, and then maybe your crown will come through that dead layer that's grown on top of it. But you really want to baby the crown. If your plant's going to survive, that's where the growth is going to be. Maybe from the roots, but some of these true tropicals like the ponytails, that's a tough one.
That's interesting.
I have a personal question. What do you think about my visual? What do you think about?
I think it's interesting. No, it's very, very helpful.
Did you get it confused with the butterfly?
No, but that's what this format is great, because if you did that on the radio on Saturday, no one would see it. So it was a good time to break out a visual.
Yeah, I guess now people that listen to the show, maybe they're imagining I'm doing hand motions all the time. And so I guess
might not even need to imagine.
Yeah, but I can assure you I am. All right, next question number 3. Here we go. Question number 3 is from Leanne. All right, Leanne, we got good news for you. Her question is, what should we do to our live oak trees that are dropping leaves?
Leanne, you run out there and you hug her, because that tree is doing everything she can to shake it off. She's literally shaking it off. She's shaking off the leaves to get them out of the way for something new, and she's trying her very best to survive. So seriously, go hug that tree, tell her she can do it, and that you really appreciate her willingness to take care of herself.
If you have soft, sensitive skin, make sure you're wearing a long sleeve shirt. That would be best advice for you. And then I will say this is when live oaks drop their leaves anyway. So she could not have been damaged by the freeze at all, but still be dropping leaves. So that is a lot of times when we have these crises like that, like this one that we had, we get kind of over attuned to what's happening with our plants. And so this is one of those things that maybe, Leanne, you're just dealing with regular yearly leaf drop that the live oaks do. So live oaks seem to have weathered the storm very, very well, pun intended. And so that is potentially not an issue at all. So hopefully that's good news for Leanne and you other live oak owners.
I would say so.
Do you just call them dead oaks if they died? Is that just what they're called? Is it just a dead oak?
You never call them names, ever.
Well, you call them a live oak normally. But so it's like if it's not living anymore, is it? Anyway, it's one of the
Let me
life's...
see your hand motion.
It's one of life's many, contradictions, I suppose, out there in the world. Nature, it's a cycle. All right, question number 4. Here we go. Question number 4, Meg, you ready? This one's a real long one. All right, time to focus. This is from Richard. Richard, when I mow grass, the roots cause a problem because the mower blades hit the roots and create difficulties. I end up having to use a weed eater to finish the grass cutting. I am thinking about this. I want to rent a stump grinder and grind down the roots to ground level to make the mowing of the grass more efficient. Richard. Hi. Meg?
I don't think I would have ever thought of those steps, but I will say I will take a stab at it. Danny, first of all, is the grass man. Oh, isn't that a Beatles song? Hey, you're the grass man. Yeah, the grass.
I think Hey Jude.
It was that tax man. No, you're the tax man.
Oh,
but
gotcha.
So the grass man, Danny will probably will be able to answer it better than me. But I would not recommend that. But if your roots are coming up, then in the future or going forward, you want to watch out for your watering, because if you can water less often but deeper, then the roots won't be coming up to try to get a drink. They'll stay down to get a drink. So if the roots are coming up, that could be a problem. But honestly, this is totally Danny's wheelhouse. So Danny, you're on.
Thanks, Meg. Roots really, our main reason roots come up is because the soil gets compacted or washes away, right? Or it's just gone. And so your best bet is to bring in a few layers of compost over time, maybe 1 inch per time around the roots. Your tree needs those roots to survive. And so just keep in mind that most of your trees are worth thousands of dollars. Your lawnmower is not even worth that unless you really invested in a nice lawnmower. If so, get it serviced at Southwest Fertilizer. But the roots are coming up. And so if your goal is to just make mowing more efficient, but you're going to put a multi-$1,000 tree in danger to do so, it's just kind of where you pull back a little bit. So my best advice to Richard is to put compost down a couple times, maybe 3-4 times this year at 1 inch per time, and try to raise that soil level and open it up a little bit more. So the roots do drink water from down lower more and replenishing some of that soil that stays in place. If he had to remove roots, you're much, much better off doing a bit of a root surgery or hiring an arborist to do a bit of a root surgery where you're actually taking the whole root out. Getting a stump grinder to deal with roots is inviting infestation and disease. And so that would probably be the last thing I would recommend. It's kind of like, if you had to cut your finger off, would you put in a pencil sharpener, or would you, go to a doctor and get surgery done? You know what I mean? It's like a sort of the debate. One is going to lead to disease. We really got gory there for a second, but that's kind of how I feel this is like really probably the most abrasive, most disease-causing way would be a stump grinder on those roots. So, but the whole point is your trees are worth a lot of money and your grass is not. And so saving, what did we come up with, Meg? What was it, like 5 minutes a year on mowing, dodging those roots? maybe not worth it.
I think, yeah, I'm going to go with that.
So those of you
No
in
stump
Richard's
grinder.
situation, that's right. No stump grinder. If you really got an issue that you really want to deal with, call an arborist. But your best bet is just putting down some compost a few times this year, and that'll get you there. So, well, you guys are invited to give us some questions, to ask questions of us during this live. We love answering them. Obviously, we're very thorough with the questions, and so that's what we're here to do. We're here to help you out. And so I'd love for you to put it in the comments section there. We're going to go to Mary Nelson, or Mary Gonzalez, with Nelson Nursery and Water Gardens, with a video right now about starting seed plants for spring. And so we're going to do that and come back and answer a couple more questions. So Mary, over to you.
Hi everybody, it's Mary with Nelson Nursery and Water Gardens, and I was just thinking to myself, what can I plant now where I'm going to get something pretty quickly? Well, I have an array of seeds that you can plant directly into the ground, and you're going to get produce in 65 days. That's just about 2 months. Carrots are wonderful, easy to plant. You want to put them directly in the ground. None of these go in seeding trays. You want to make sure they go directly in because they're root vegetables. Root veggies don't want to be disturbed once they start to grow. And lastly, I've got lettuce and arugula. These you can reseed every 2 weeks and continually have a harvest all the way through. And if you keep these guys watered, your lettuce and arugula could even get you through the summertime. So plant these guys now, have a nice bountiful harvest in about 2 months. You can do it.
Great information there, and thank you, Mary. Good word, good word. So Meg, you got any further tips on seed planting, kind of follow up on what Mary was talking about?
Actually, I have started doing microgreens, and that is super duper fun. And that only takes 1 week until you harvest. So you just take a little strip of soil. You could do it in a pot, but I do it in my raised bed. And so you just do it's probably like 1 foot by 2.5 feet, and you can get any kind of seeds you want. And if you get, it's broccoli, chard, kale, sunflower, lettuce, broccoli, I think I already said that, carrots, anyway, radish, bunch of seeds, and you just sprinkle them and barely cover them with soil, and then just keep them watered. And in 1 week, you're totally ready to harvest, which is actually pretty cool. And it takes the place of lettuce in a salad. So you just, so they're growing up and you just cut them. You just give them a little haircut, and they stay in the fridge for about a week, up to a week, but you just use them instead of lettuce in a salad. But that is super rewarding. And then once you're finished with that patch, you start a new patch. So I just start a patch like once a week, and then I always have them ready to go. And they do come back up after you've cut them once. They do come back up or continue. And then I just turn them over and let them feed the worms.
Gotcha. I do like that. You have some vermicompost going. Well, we are here to help. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I just got ordered some new worms, because I don't know if anyone else noticed this. After the whole freeze, when I would dig in the garden, my worms were like stunned. They were really slow. It was really kind of weird. So I've noticed them. They've sprung back to life. That was a good one. Sluggish. I liked it.
Thank you.
I thought it was good. But so they were sluggish. But I went to Uncle Jim's worm farm online, and that's where I've gotten worms before, for when I started my vermiculture worm composting operation. And those are red wigglers, which is different. But then earthworms are, I think, European night crawlers. Yeah, but Bavarian. I just ordered a bunch of new worms, and they came today. So I just set them out, and hopefully they will do their thing.
Absolutely. With seed growing, with getting some transplants in, our veggie beds can be the first thing that kind of comes back. I know that I'm planning to do a lot of seasonal color in my front beds, where I lost a lot of my native perennial shrub stuff. What are some of your favorite kind of seasonal color options that you like putting in?
Well, I will tell you, I went out to Enchanted Gardens in Richmond, and it was so fun. It was just so nice. It was so pretty to be out with, everything's so brown and crunchy where I live. So it was just so nice. And I got mist flower. They had some African blue basil. I was trying to get anything I could almost with a flower on it now. because I felt bad for the bees. I don't know
Yeah.
what they're eating. And I've really only seen one bee in my yard, and I don't know if it's the same bee and no one else is around, or if they're taking turns just eating one at a time, but it is kind of sad. So I do feel like I need to get color in there right away to help with the bees and feed the bees. And just remember when you're doing that to pick different shapes of flowers, different colors of flowers, different heights, because some bees, can get in there really deep, and some bees have to have almost like a daisy or something, that they can eat right on the surface. So when you're in there, try to get different flower shapes, sizes, and colors. Oh, and I got some milkweed.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, one of the things that I did before the freeze is I put flower seeds in, cosmos, poppies, and zinnia mostly, into some of my potted plants that I thought would go away. And I'm seeing a lot of those come up now. My plum tree has rebloomed, which is the first time it's ever done that. I did not think that would happen. Maybe that low chill got all the chill that it needed over 4 days. And so that is rebloomed, which is very exciting. So I'm seeing a few bees on that. But that is a great concept, a great kind of focus, is get some of those plants that the bees are going to be able to harvest and use. That's an awesome idea.
Mm-hmm. That's, it's very important because I do feel bad for them. But also I got some rue, which I hadn't done before. And that makes, not now, but it makes a little yellow flower later. But I think it's a swallowtail. It's the host plant.
Yeah, they eat the leaves.
That. So I'm really trying because obviously I'll have to change a bunch of things around that didn't make it. But like I said, it's a good time to try something new.
Absolutely. Well, Meg, as always, thanks for being on, and a big shout out to the Garden Club of Houston for all the great work they're doing. If y'all out there and you're watching and you want to learn more about gardening, joining a garden club, doesn't have to be one of the garden clubs of America, but joining something that's going to have informationally focused kind of sessions and a way for you to learn hands-on stuff, Urban Harvest, OBA, OHBA. There's a lot of great places to go to learn more stuff. Our favorite is obviously, of course, Home Show Garden Pros, our website, our Facebook page, and our live radio show every single Saturday. Home Show Garden Pros on Sports Radio 610. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and we'll see you. We'll see you next week, and we'll talk to you this Saturday. So, me and Meg signing off.
Bye.